Welcome back to All Access with the Profs. I'm your host, Jordan Weisinger, bringing you your Rowan Sports Update for the third week of October. Field hockey has been up and down all year for a record of 4-7 entering last week, and the Profs really wanted to get things going. They had their last out-of-conference game against Widener last Wednesday, and then NJAC play began on senior night last Saturday against Ramapo College. Halloween is coming up, and spooky season isn't the only thing scaring opposing teams when they come to Glassboro. Rowan's first game against Widener was an elite showing from the girls to end non-conference play. The Profs shut out Widener 4-0 and completely dominated shots in the game with a whopping 16 shots to Widener's 1. Widener didn't have a single shot on goal. Jenna Gray scored 2 goals in this one, and her first goal opened the scoring and ended up being the winning goal. Rowan continued the dominant showing into NJAC play against Ramapo, where the Profs won 6-0. Ali Palumbo scored 2 goals in the affair. Alexa Ronning, Tess Herman, Kylie Elwell, and Ella Toll each contributed with a goal of their own in the win. Once again, Rowan excelled in the shots category, holding Ramapo to 1 shot all game. When the Profs had 16 shots on goal and 21 shots total, the Profs on the year are now 6-7-1 and 0 in conference play. Their next game is against TCNJ this Wednesday. Rowan's men's soccer opened NJAC play back on September 28th with a draw against Rutgers Newark. Since then, they are 1-0-1 with a win over NJCU and a draw against Rutgers Camden going into the week. The men's team had a record of 4-3-5. They would play their first game of the week and last game of out of conference against the Washington College Shoremen. The second game of the week came against William Patterson. From this point out, the Profs would be playing purely against NJAC opponents. Let's send it down to the Soccer Lacrosse Complex where Sam Prince is able to tell us more about the men's soccer team.
Rowan's men's soccer team won tonight 4-0 against NJAC rival William Patterson, and it was all thanks to Dylan Appertel in net. And there were 4 goal scorers for the Profs: Jason Barrigan, Jake Homowitz, David Caputo, and Ryan Gale. Appertel had a clean sheet in victory and only allowed 4 shots with 3 saves that kept the lead for the Profs. It was the Profs' largest margin of victory at home this season so far. This win for the Profs snapped a 1-game losing streak for them, and that can hopefully start a NJAC championship run, as it's all NJAC play for the Profs so far going forward. And this was Sam Prince with All Access with the Profs.
Rowan football had a very close loss last week to Johns Hopkins, 20-13. They had many opportunities to come through, but ultimately fell short. One positive to take away is Nate Mayers is now most likely quarterback 1 going into conference play, after throwing the ball 44 times against Johns Hopkins compared to Wellesley's 8. This week they open NJAC play against the College of New Jersey Lions, also known as TCNJ. Rowan essentially resets its record to 0-0 after its first 4 out-of-conference games. Can Rowan start 1-0 in conference play? Let's find out how the Profs fared last Saturday. Owen Caldwell is at the WAC for more insight.
I'm Owen Caldwell here at Coach Richard Wacker Stadium, where the Rowan Profs just defeated the TCNJ Lions 36-22. The defense led the way today for the Profs as they were able to intercept TCNJ QB Trevor Bopp 4 times, and on offense it was Nate Mayers and Nunez Bakula that were the stars. It was 7-0 TCNJ after the first quarter, but from the second quarter on, Rowan was able to take a stand defensively, which then led the offense to relax and milk the clock while continuing to put up points. Nate Mayers was 24 for 33 with 274 yards and a touchdown, while Nunez Bakula was able to rack up 70 rushing yards and 98 receiving yards. With this win, Rowan improved its record to 3-2, and TCNJ fell to 3-2. The Profs now will set their sights on Virginia, where they will travel next week to take on Christopher Newport. Their next home game will be on Saturday, November 2nd, as they welcome in Montclair State. My name is Owen Caldwell from All Access with the Profs. Now back to the studio.
What a win for the Profs over TCNJ. TCNJ, what happened? They dominated the gridiron. Now it's time for our weekly calendar segment with Jake Clark and Skylar Sweeney. Take it away, Jake.
Thanks, Jordan. How's it going, everyone? I'm Jake Clark, joined again by Skylar Sweeney to take a look at the calendar for Rowan Athletics. Beginning on Tuesday with women's volleyball, William Patterson was able to secure a sweep in straight sets, 3-0 for Rowan to be victorious against William Patterson. They swept them to secure their 5th straight victory, and they won the first set comfortably, 25-18. The second set was a little bit closer, only with a 2-point margin of victory, 25-23, and the third set to secure the win, 25-20. Jenna Call led the Profs with 11 kills, and Brooke Adams had an impressive 28 assists. Vanessa Hutchinson with 16 digs in the win. Field hockey, as you can see behind us, broke their losing streak 4-0 versus Widener and got back in the win column, as Jordan mentioned earlier. But Skylar, the men's soccer team had a tough one on Wednesday.
Yes, they did. And Washington defeated Rowan men's soccer 1-0. Rowan's top scorer, Triano, took 8 shots with 3 on goal. Then Washington goalkeeper Cole White made 9 saves to secure the win. And while the Profs had off on Thursday and Friday, Saturday was a big day for Rowan Athletics, first beginning with women's volleyball.
Yeah, women's volleyball had a tri-match against Misericordia and SUNY Canton. Rowan went 1-1 during Saturday's tri-match. They lost in straight sets to Misericordia. In that match, Brooke Adams led the team in assists with 22 and aces with 4. However, they bounced back against SUNY Canton in straight sets, and Jenna Call and Maya Ivacini were dominant for Rowan. Call had 11 kills. Ivacini was able to record 10, and Vanessa Hutchinson with 16 digs in a Rowan win.
And on Saturday, we are with men's and women's swim. With men's, Jack Watson and Tobias Cambly led with 3 first-place finishes each. Watson won the 100 back and was part of 2 winning relays. Cambly took first in the 200 free and 200 back. Rookie Julianne Hunn won the 500 free and 200 IM in his debut. Back to women's, Ella Pennington won the 100 back and 100 fly. Freshmen Riley Connell and Lily Martin each won 2 events. The Profs captured both the 200 medley and 400 free relays. Additional winners included Laura Jones and Caitlin Crothmell. The Profs' home opener for women and men's swimming is on October 26th against NYU. On Saturday for football against TCNJ, Rowan defeated TCNJ 36-22 in their NJAC opener. As Owen was talking about, Rowan's defense had 4 interceptions and 4 sacks. Rowan totaled 474 yards of offense.
And sticking with Saturday, women's soccer was on the road at William Patterson, where they were able to remain unbeaten with a 2-0 victory. Olivia Giordano stole the show. As Sam mentioned, she stole it yet again, scoring both goals for the Profs.
And on Saturday, again, men's soccer versus William Patterson. Rowan defeated William Patterson 4-0 in NJAC. Jake Homowitz had a goal and an assist. David Caputo and Jason Barragan and Ryan Gale also scored. Dylan Portella made 3 saves for his 2nd shutout. Rowan remains unbeaten in conference play 2-0-2.
And finally on Saturday, field hockey took on Ramapo for a big win on senior night, 6-0. The honored seniors were Allie Palumbo, Jordan Spazzano, and Madison Murray. Palumbo got things off to a hot start on senior night, scoring 2 goals early for the Profs. And then they scored 4 goals in the third quarter from Alexa Ronning, the captain Tess Herman, Kylie Elwell, and Ella Toll. Rowan's defense played well, only letting 1 Ramapo shot attempt all night long, and the shot was a breakaway that was kick saved by keeper Mariah Giuliano to keep Ramapo off the board. So that wraps up a busy week for Rowan sports, but now we flip the calendar to take a look at next week's action. On Wednesday, we'll see women's soccer host their senior night against Stockton, while men's soccer travels to Galloway to face off with Stockton on the road. Field hockey will be looking at home to maintain their undefeated conference record against TCNJ. Thursday, women's volleyball travels to Montclair State, and this Saturday is filled again with action-packed Profs sports. Men's and women's cross country will compete at the border battle, while women's volleyball hits the road again for a tri-match against Catholic and Hood. Football is at Christopher Newport, and field hockey is away as well. They'll be at Keene. Finally, both men's and women's soccer will take on Montclair State, as the women will be at home and the men are on the road. So Skylar, out of all those matchups for next week, which is your highlight game of the week?
I'd probably have to give my highlight game of the week to women's field hockey against TCNJ on Wednesday. Rowan is 4-3 at home, really showing their strong performance on their own field compared to the 2-4 away record. The Profs averaged 3 goals per game, with Ali Palumbo leading the team in both goals and assists. It will be a crucial NJAC showdown against their rival. After a 6-0 shutout against Ramapo, Rowan looks to keep and build this momentum they have going moving forward against their nationally ranked TCNJ.
Well, that should be an exciting matchup. My highlight game of the week has to be women's soccer versus Stockton on Wednesday night. It'll be senior night for the Profs as they look to honor 9 seniors with a win. And Stockton is a quality conference opponent who is 7-4-2 on the year, 2-1-1 in the NJAC. And again, as we mentioned, that unbeaten record looks to stay unbeaten as they face off against Stockton. So that's all we have for today. Thanks for checking the calendar with us this week. I'm Jake Clark along with Skylar Sweeney, and we will now send things over to Carrie Letizia for our interaction segment.
Thanks, Jake. Skylar. I'm Carrie Letizia. Alongside me is Chris Roberts, the president of Rowan's Karate and Self-Defense Club. Thank you so much for joining us on All Access with the Profs. Explain a little bit about the club, what you do, when you meet, all that stuff.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. So yeah, like you said, I'm Chris Roberts from Rowan Karate and Self-Defense, and we meet Thursdays 8:15 to 10:15 in the group exercise room of the rec center, and then Fridays 6 to 8 in court 1. So that's like you go into the rec center and you go all the way down with the last basketball court. We got the big wrestling mats out, but don't let that intimidate you. We take all kinds of people that have never trained, people that have already black belts. So I've been training since 2006. And I got into it my sophomore year because I was in the MMA club, and then I had a buddy that brought me into the karate club, and now I'm the president. So
how did you make your way up to be president?
So when I was asked to join, I was just regular member. Then the president next year asked me to be their treasurer, and she kind of ran the show. She was really great, got us to like a really good spot. And then my next president asked me to be VP, and now I'm president this year.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Can you tell us what you brought with, here today?
Yeah, sure. So this is my, you want me to go this way or this way?
Whatever you want to do.
Sure, I'll go this way first. So this is what we call a gi in martial arts. A lot of different martial arts will have this. This is from karate, but I got this because of our first tournament. We made our own logo and stuff. Like this is on my pants too.
Oh.
Like this, our great graphic designer Gavin made all this stuff. And even with these, he made sure that the kanji matched both like Chinese and Japanese.
Do you know what that means? Like, what is
Yeah,
it?
so this says karate, this says self-defense, and this says force because there's not a kanji that mixes both like team and club together. So he tried to get the closest one together.
Oh, okay.
So that's what that one is. So this, so that's the top. There's also pants that go with it, but they're just pants. You know, they're just white pants.
Okay.
But yeah, so I wear that for my tournaments and stuff.
And then
These are mitts or focus mitts. So you put these on to hit with, to be hit with, and to smack in the middle. And you
Okay.
try to aim for that big cushiony part in the middle there. This is my black belt. So this is my 3rd degree. This is a Korean, means third dan, or 3rd degree. And I got my black belt in, I want to say 2013, but this one I got a little bit later than that. Because my school you work up the ranks, then you had to work through all the ranks again in a black belt color.
Oh, wow.
And then when you're 2nd degree, you take 2 years between that to get to your next degree and so on. So this is a long time. But this number 61 is on the 61st black belt of my school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And how long have you been doing karate and mixed martial arts?
Since 2006. So,
Okay, so for a while.
Yeah, a long time.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I tried other sports and stuff, and it wasn't clicking with me. And my one friend brought me to my school that I go to now. It's called Kaizen Martial Arts in Mount Laurel. And I stuck with it, and I'm here.
Awesome. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, no, your time. These are 16-ounce boxing gloves. So you'll see boxers use these, karate people use these. 16 is like a standard adult measurement for them.
Okay.
Because the padding in it weighs 16 ounces or a
Okay.
pound, you know. And there are lighter ones for different work. Like you'll see in MMA fights, they have those ones with the fingers like
Yes.
this. and they're about 7 ounces because they don't really care about their own knuckles.
Okay.
But mainly boxing gloves are to protect yourself from your opponent.
Okay.
And a lot of people, like, I had that realization like this year because my friend was talking to me about it, and he was like, yeah, they're not meant to protect the person you're fighting, they're protecting your own hands, because there's a bunch of little bones and muscles in there, so like if you pop something real hard, it's not good.
Yeah.
So boxing gloves protect you from that.
Nice.
Yeah, and finally I brought these. These are called Kali sticks or Eskrima sticks. And I was trained in a plethora of martial arts. So I have 7 martial arts under my belt, but this is from an art called Kali, which is a Filipino stick martial art, and they do a lot of combinations, fighting, and they're made to do with, what you can do with those, you're supposed to be able to do with a knife, a sword, or even your open hand.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
So I have very long fingernails.
Yeah.
So does that affect things or not really? Like,
Yeah,
do you
so-
change things?
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
yeah.
you're good.
So the traditional punches, you're gonna curl your fingers over and put your thumb across. But with people with long nails, sometimes they cut their palm if they do that kind of fist.
Yeah, I kind of have the marks when I do it.
Yeah, you can see them already.
Yeah.
So what you want to do is called a palm strike. So there's 2 versions of this as well, because even the long nails, you can cut yourself doing it this way, the traditional way.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have you flex out with your fingers pointing out, and you're just gonna cock your hand back like that.
Okay.
And you're trying to hit with that big meaty part of your thumb.
So this part of my
Yeah,
finger.
right around
okay.
there. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and so all that is I'm gonna have you stand feet shoulder width apart,
Okay.
and just take a step out with your left hand, with your left foot.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then put your hands up. This is basically what a guard stance is. It's
Okay,
just
and
a natural
I
step.
don't do this. I do this.
You can, yeah. So we call them, this is a safety stance. So this would be like if someone comes at you and you don't want to fight them, but you want to like maintain your space with them, you'd put your arms all the way out and you keep your distance.
Okay.
If you're in a fight, it's a little closer, it's shelled up, stuff like that.
Okay.
But so for a palm strike, you're just gonna have your hand flexed,
Okay.
and you're gonna cock it back like this,
Okay.
dip your hips a little bit, and push through. Yeah. Kind of like
Okay.
you're opening a door, push it through.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can either keep this one up here or bring it back for more power, stuff like that.
Okay, so
but you're
then-
gonna keep
so
it up, push, push.
Dependent on the other hand. So if I
Yeah.
hit this way and I bring the other hand backwards,
Mm-hmm.
what is that doing?
Well, so the backwards motion is it's loading up this hand as well, but it's getting a torque motion from your shoulders. So like
Okay.
it's from your shoulders and your hips. So all that kind of pushes this hand forward and with more power.
Okay.
Yeah, so stuff like that.
Okay.
Would you like to hit a pad?
Sure.
All right, cool. So traditionally what happens is if you're hitting with your right hand, you hit this one because it's across your body, but we'll
So
focus on
I would
one
go
hand.
this way.
Yeah, so we'll do that hand, we'll keep this
I'm
one.
doing this and I'm hitting there.
Right, yep, just
and
like
then
that.
this hand is like staying like this.
Yeah,
Okay, so
boom, yep. Yeah, and if you
Okay.
want to, you can twist your hip into it even more and get more power into it. Yeah, see the difference?
and
You
then
hear-
does my hand supposed to straighten when I do it like
like what?
that? Or-
Yeah, a little bit. It's like cocked. You see how I have it cocked back a little bit there?
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like a little pop. It's almost at an angle. So it's like this, like not kind of like this, but like that. You hear what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Okay.
Boom.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
see.
it looked good.
Interesting.
Excellent, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on and showing me how to punch with nails. Again, I'm Carrie Letizia, and this is Chris Roberts, the president of Rowan's Karate and Self-Defense Club, and I'm going to be throwing it back to Jordan.
Thank you, Carrie, and thank you all for tuning in to this week's episode of All Access with the Profs. From field hockey to football to self-defense, we have you covered. For myself, Jordan Weisinger, and the rest of the crew, we say sayonara.